They very much want to set the record straight when it comes to who they are, right? And a Leo placement, they can't help but shine. They can't help but be noticed. But they're very scared of being noticed for the wrong reasons, of people not really getting the full picture of them. What's good, you guys? It's your girl Sarah. How you doing today? Today I have a really fun Halloween themed, might I say, Zodiac list for you guys. I actually just recently saw this one on Instagram. It's by Sanctuarywrld. I'm gonna post it in a bit, but it is what your sign is scared of, hence why it fits with the theme of Halloween. Some of these, you know, they're reading you. They're reading the out of you, but that's what we do here. You know, it's not just the good times. We're gonna talk about, you know, some of the shit that you guys need to work on. Some of the shit that gets under your skin, or shit that you would never admit out loud, but it is something that you deal with. Okay, so let's just get into it. Okay, first up we have Aries, and what you're scared of is embarrassing yourselves. Ooh, we starting off strong. We starting off strong. I mean, yeah, it's true, Aries. It really is true. Like, Aries is known to be the baby of the zodiac, and I feel like when you are the baby, you know, when you're the first sign, you're also very courageous, right? Because you're the first one that's like putting yourself out there. But it also means that you tend to embarrass yourself because you are not thinking about how this will plan out, right? You're just kind of leading with whatever feeling that you have. And sometimes I feel like because of that, Aries is really scared of embarrassing themselves because they put themselves in a lot of situations where they could easily embarrass themselves. But also, because Aries is such a hard worker, you know, they're not ones to do something for the first time in front of people. You know what I mean? Like, they are really scared of not impressing people. You know what I mean? And they hate being bad at anything. They're very competitive like that, obviously, because they're also a Martian. Aries is just one of the most competitive signs. And if you know anyone that's competitive, they're typically really scared of embarrassing themselves. And if they embarrass themselves, they can get really angry. I would say out of all the signs, Aries is one of the people that, like, if you're having a game night, Aries is gonna take it there. Aries is gonna, you know, say something out of pocket. They're gonna say something and suddenly the mood's gonna shift and it's like, it's not fun no more. It's no game no more. All because Aries maybe got embarrassed a little bit. They would never admit that out loud though. You know what I mean? So if you want to enjoy fun and games with an Aries, just make sure that they are doing something that they're good at. You know, pick a game that Aries is good at. Otherwise, they will be scared of embarrassing themselves and they'll kind of be really aggressive throughout the whole game. I mean, they're going to be aggressive no matter what when it comes to competition, but especially if they're not the best at whatever it is that you're playing. You know it's true, Aries. Don't be lying. Don't be lying. Okay, next we have Taurus. And what you're scared of is making a mess. I had to think about this one because I thought that maybe this would be better for like Virgo. You know, they're like neat freaks and they like things done a certain way. So I really had to put myself in the shoes of, you know, Taurus energy and be like, are they scared of making a mess? And then I thought about it and I'm like, okay, well, the thing is, a mess consists of something happening that you weren't, you know, expecting, that you weren't prepared for. And is that not Taurus's biggest fear? Is something not going, you know, with their schedule or something happening that they weren't prepared for. That's why they're such routine-oriented people, right? Like Taurus likes things a certain way and they know what they like and they don't like to, you know, steer outside of that. So I think when you're making a mess, when anything is a mess, it's something that is unexpected. And Taurus is really scared of that. You know what I mean? Like, they also are Venusian, so they like to lead a very peaceful life. And when a mess is, you know, when a mess is near, when a mess is happening, when a messy situation is happening, Taurus does not feel at ease. You know, the bull is starting to feel scared. They would, again, never admit that. They would never admit that they're scared, but that's where it comes from. That's why they get so agitated when people switch up plans, you know, when there's more people in the room than they want to socialize with, because to them it's like messy, you know, and that brings them anxiety. Taurus likes things a certain way, and a mess, you know, steers away from that way, and that scares them. Okay, next we have Gemini, and what you're scared of is people thinking that you're dumb. Ooh, yeah, I would say so. You know, I don't know who would ever think that Gemini is dumb. Like, they are constantly talking about what they're learning, you know, the different types of people that they've met and what they have taught them. Like, Gemini's mind is ever evolving and moving constantly at a really fast pace, and they're processing thoughts at a very, very fast rate, faster than any other sign. They're the faster paced version of Mercury. To them, it's something that they overthink about. You know what I mean? Like, they're so scared of people not really taking them seriously when it comes to knowledge. You know what I mean? And if anyone were to ever tell a Gemini, oh, you're dumb, like, they take that shit personally. Because it's like, me, dumb? I literally retain information faster than you and anyone you know. Like, what do you mean I'm dumb? They're gonna go off on a tangent telling you why you're the dumbest person that they've actually ever met, and they never told you because they didn't want to hurt your feelings. You know what I mean? Like, Gemini will actually, you will meet the other twin. The other twin that comes out when Gemini is really, really pissed. You will meet that twin if you were to ever tell Gemini that they're dumb, or to make them feel like they're dumb. You know what I mean? And Gemini is very much that seeker of knowledge, very much like their sister sign, you know, Sagittarius. Gemini loves to know things. They love to be in the know. So they're fearful. I think actually the scariest thing for a Gemini is being part of a conversation where they have nothing to add. Like, I don't even know how Gemini can proceed, if they proceed. But the thing is, Gemini can literally not have any connection to the topic of that conversation, but they will still add something. You know what I mean? And I think the scariest thing they can experience is like kind of like pretending to be in on it and someone like calling them out. Like, that would be very, very scary for Gemini. Like, you know when like people make a joke and you're the only person in that group that like is not part of this inside joke, but you still laugh anyway? Because, you know, you want to like feel included. If anyone were to call out Gemini and be like, you don't know what we're talking about, Gemini will literally scream internally and feel so embarrassed. And now Gemini's probably embarrassed to ever be around you again, because how dare you call them out like that, you know? They're very much scared of people ever thinking that they're not in on something and that they don't know, you know? I actually like can't take the Cancer one seriously, because, you know, we always talk about how with these lists, some of them I'm just like, huh? Okay, next we have Cancer, and you're scared of slimy things like frogs. I don't know, I feel like this is like an outlier compared to like the theme we have going on here. Like, I was like, okay, maybe it reminds Cancers of all the frogs that they had to kiss to get their happy ending, you know? You know what I mean? And that's me reaching hard for why they would pick this for Cancer. Because if we are keeping it in the realm of, you know, kissing all the frogs, and, you know, you're scared of all the frogs you had to kiss. Like, I'm really reaching here. I'm doing my, like, improv, my Gemini moon improv, trying to make this work. You're welcome. But I feel like if we are going with that theme of the frog, being scared of the frog, I feel like a lot of times, you know, Cancers are so open to, you know, new partners, because like I always say, they're waiting to have that love connection so badly. They want that deep love so badly. And I think a lot of times when Cancer thinks about the frogs of their past, it's scary. But if I'm gonna add my own, you know, thing to this, I feel like what Cancers are scared of is their emotions being used against them. And it's specifically because Cancers are so open and vulnerable with their feelings. No matter how big or ugly or intense they are, they very much are comfortable sharing them. And I think they have experience probably in their childhood or teenage years, people, you know, using their moments of lashing out against them later. And low-key, like, for good reason, Cancer, because you can't just be like acting crazy and expect people to like not call you out on it. But I do think even after they grow and they learn to stabilize their own emotions, I feel like it is a fear that they live with, is maybe going off on someone that they deeply care about and that person not forgiving them and letting them know that their emotions, like, it was the last straw. This moment of you freaking out, it was the last straw. Like, that is something that constantly, I feel like, runs through the head of Cancer placements. Finally pushing someone they love that far to the point where they're like, your emotions and you, I can't do it anymore. Okay, next we have Leo, and what you're scared of is bad lighting. A little superficial, but like, you know, it kind of does fit with the theme of Leo. But to make it a little bit deeper, I do feel like Leo is scared of anything that makes them look bad. Obviously, the superficial aspect of that would be bad lighting. But to take it deeper, I feel like you guys are very much, you know, you're a fixed sign. So you can be very controlling when it comes to people's perception of you. And you want to control how people view you. You know what I mean? Leo is the star, right? Like they are the sun, the world revolves around them. They want to be noticed, but they want to control how they're noticed. And when people, let's say, create lies about them, or, you know, if they feel like people don't really know them, but they're talking about them, that is something that they're scared of. Like they wish they can be in every conversation that includes them, so they can be like, fact, no, not fact, lie, that's not true, that's not true, this is actually who I am. You know what I mean? They very much want to set the record straight when it comes to who they are, right? And a Leo placement, they can't help but shine, they can't help but be noticed. But they're very scared of being noticed for the wrong reasons, of people not really getting the full picture of them. Hence why, you know what I mean, like bad lighting, right? Like when you're looking at a picture with bad lighting, you can't help but feel like, oh my God, like this isn't actually what I look like, right? Like this is just bad lighting. And it's very much similar when it comes to Leo and rumors about them or how people are perceiving them, right? They're very much scared of the wrong thing, the inaccurate thing being said about them, and them not being able to control that narrative. I think that's something that you guys struggle with. Let me know what you think. Okay, next we have Virgo, and what you're scared of is getting caught in a lie. Ooh, yeah. The thing is, getting caught in a lie means you were messy enough for your mistake to be noticed. All of that is very much scary for a Virgo placement, right? Like it's very much similar to Leo in a sense that now they're afraid of, you know, their character being on the line and people will view them as like untrustworthy. Their word is everything to them, you know? Virgo is very loyal. Virgo very much wants people to view them, like I said, as trustworthy, as someone that, you know, follows the rules, does things the right way, goes about life with a good moral compass, right? And if a Virgo gets caught in a lie, they feel like their world is crumbling around them. Because if a Virgo is out here lying, and I mean every sign lies. If you're a liar, you're a liar. Like it doesn't matter what sign you are. But if a Virgo is caught lying, I feel like it hits deep. Because everything that this sign stands for has to do with integrity, following the rules. So when you're lying, you're not following the rules, you're going off book, just doing things your own way. And again, you're being messy. And I feel like Virgo is very much scared of people viewing their actions as messy. And when you're, you know, caught in a lie, you're being messy. And they're scared of people now not taking them seriously. Like Virgo takes themselves very, very seriously. And when you're caught in a lie, or, you know, when you're bending the truth and you get called out on it, it also makes Virgo, you know, feel like, okay, now I gotta like add more. I gotta like explain myself. And if they are caught in a lie, usually, you know, you don't have time to like go behind the scenes and be like, okay, what should I do? How should I spin this? Because Virgo, they're not really good at creating stuff and creating a narrative on the spot like Gemini, the other ruler, the other sign that is ruled by Mercury is, you know. Gemini is a really good bullshitter, especially on the spot, whereas Virgo, they need time to think of their plan. They need time to think about why it is that they bended the truth or lied or whatever, right? So if you're caught in a lie, they're very much scared because they're like, how am I gonna fix this? How am I gonna clean up this mess? You know, you feel me? Okay, next we have Libra, and what you're scared of is the sting of rejection. Ooh, I know the world stopped for Libras anywhere when I said the word rejection. Because Libras are like, rejection who? Rejection where? You know, why do you actually think that Libras love having options? It is because if someone disappoints you, if someone rejects you, if you have someone lined up right away, You don't have to feel the burn of someone rejecting you. You know what I mean? You can fill that void with someone else with the quickness. Whereas if you are all in on one person when you're dating that one person and that person rejects you or disappoints you, now you have to take the time and like feel that rejection and feel that disappointment. Whereas if you had someone lined up right away, you could just easily distract yourself with the other person, right? This is the game of Libra. That's what they do because they are very much scared of rejection. And Libra, especially when they're low vibrational, they are really good at mirroring the person that they're with, you know? Whether it's a friend or whether it's, you know, their partner. And sometimes they don't even do it on purpose. Like they just really want to relate to people, you know? That's how they form connections, is when they find an area where they relate, you know? And I think when rejection happens, it's a way where, you know, naturally when rejection happens, it's a way where the other person is letting you know, we don't align. This is a no. We actually clash. No, I don't have anything in common with you. No, I don't want you. You know, those are the messages that rejection is sending, right? And that goes against everything that Libra stands for. More than anything, Libra wants to find common ground with everyone that they're around. And when someone rejects you, it's their way of like, you know, kind of cutting off that connection with you and letting you know that there is nothing that can happen here for me to feel like I want to be connected to you. And that is something that Libra is very, very scared of. Everything they stand for has to do with peace and of getting along with everybody. And if someone rejects you, that's implying that like you don't get along with that person and that person doesn't like you. And you know, Libra very much fears not being liked by everyone. It's something that you constantly have to work through as a Libra placement, is knowing and accepting that you're not going to make everyone happy and not everyone's going to like you. Like, that's just a fact. I'm letting you know right now, if you're a Libra placement, there is no way in hell that you will make everyone happy in this life. And you should just be okay with that. Also, when someone rejects you, don't take it personally. I know it's easier said than done, but when someone rejects you, that could literally be the biggest blessing for you, because now someone better suited for you is about to come into your life, you know? And maybe the other person that rejected you had bigger guts than you to end this relationship, so both of you can end up with someone that's better suited for you. You know what I mean? Okay, next we have Scorpio. And for Scorpio, what you're scared of is manifesting gone awry. Ooh, I felt this one deep in my soul. Because when I first started getting into like manifestation and understanding like the secret, you know, asking for what you want, receiving it, and visualizing it, and the fact that, you know, whatever you think about, that's what, you know, comes into your life, like focusing on the things that you want because your mind creates those things, right? That's what manifestation is. I started overthinking, as a Scorpio does, and I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, what if I keep thinking about the wrong things? You know, that's something that I definitely dealt with as a Scorpio placement, because I'm such an overthinker and I analyze things and I like to get deeper and deeper into a subject, you know, to the point where it loses its meaning because I'm just so deep in it. So I started thinking about how that is an aspect of my personality, and I'm like, is this going to affect the way I manifest things? Because I also have, you know, anxiety. Sometimes your mind just goes places and you're like, what if I can't control that? And, you know, let me tell you what I learned. You're not going to manifest your negative thoughts. You know what I mean? You're not. You can't control every thought that comes to your mind. It's about things that you focus on too much, to the point where it becomes, you know, a habit for you to just sit there and think about this horrible thing. You know what I mean? That can happen to you. Don't do that. But really, when it comes to manifestation, you have more control than you think. It's not just, you know, the thought that you have and now this bad thought is going to happen. Like, that's not going to happen. But I do think with Scorpio energy, we have to be careful when it comes to what we wish for, right? A Scorpio that hasn't taught themselves how to wield their power is scared of themselves. You know, really let that sink in, Scorpio placements. I think a lot of Scorpios are aware of their power, you know, and if you're not, you will be. You will come to realize that you hold a lot of power, but the next step after you realize that, you almost become scared of it. Before you learn to wield that power, you're scared of like what can happen. And when you're scared of your power, you're also scared of where it can lead you. You know what I mean? When you're manifesting, you have to just tap in to your rawest desires, tap into your energy, and understand that, you know, you deserve whatever it is that you're manifesting, right? But if there's blocks there, if there's blocks when it comes to your manifestation, and if you don't know where it comes from, Like, we have to be aware of where our dreams and manifestations come from, right? Like, where do they originate from? Are they coming from a good place or a bad place, you know? And that's the thing with Scorpio energy, right? Like, you need to be aware of the energy that is fueling these manifestations, right? Like I said, it comes back to that saying of be careful what you wish for. Because if you are in that dark place and that is when you are, you know, manifesting these things, you know, the energy that is leading these manifestations is not the best energy. And I think a lot of Scorpios, you need to learn how to wield your power. You need to first accept how much power you have, learn to wield your power, and understand that, you know, your mind, it's not as scary of a place as you tell yourself that it is. You know what I mean? I think a lot of Scorpios, because we're such overthinkers, we become very, very much afraid of our minds, our own minds. We're scared of our manifestations going the wrong way. Just remember to shut off your mind and understand that a lot of your big, big manifestations come from your heart. You know what I mean? And when you're scared of your mind, of course, you're going to be scared of what it can create, right? Especially when you first start learning about manifestation and how what you think comes to life. You can overthink and be like, oh my God, what if my mind makes bad things happen? But you are overthinking again. And you need to understand that actually your heart is where a lot of your manifestations come from. And your heart rarely steers you wrong. Okay, next we have Sagittarius. And what you're scared of is not knowing the answer. Ain't that the damn truth? Okay, that would require Sag to admit that they haven't figured out everything in this life. And that is just not something that Sag ever wants to admit, you know? Sag wants to feel deeply connected to everything in this universe. They are super open-minded, but when they don't have the answer, that is when Sag feels the most disconnected. You know what I mean? Like, that is why Sag loves to travel. That is why Sag is open-minded. Because when you're open-minded, you also bring in more conversation. The conversation can get deeper, right? And when someone sees people having a deep conversation and they see that, you know, those people are open-minded, then they feel comfortable to share more information, and then everyone in that group learns more, right? But the thing is, I feel like when Sag doesn't have the answer to them, that's a dead end, right? And a dead end is very, very scary for Sag because they're very expansive. They're ruled by Jupiter. They want to explore. They want to keep going. And I think it's important for Sag placements to understand that you not knowing is not a scary place. It's an opportunity for the truth to come out later. And I think a lot of Sages, actually, I know, are very, very impatient. So when you guys don't know the answer right away, you get very, very frustrated. That's what I've noticed with Sag placements is they almost assume that if I don't know the answer right now, I'm never gonna know it. And that gets them very, very angry. And I think a lot of times you guys just need to realize that not every answer is going to come to you right away. And not every dead end is a dead end forever. It's just letting you know, like, hey, let's sit on this for a little bit. More information will come to you. But I think because you guys are very, very impatient, you get frustrated with the world when the answer isn't given to you right away. And you guys also, I feel like, you know, you guys take it for granted. The energy that you have, the universe easily gives you a lot of things. You guys are one of the most lucky signs in the Zodiac, the most lucky in my opinion. So I think when the answer isn't given to you right away and when things aren't easily given to you, like the answer, you get very, very angry. And that is when you get the most mad with life and the universe. And when that positive energy is out the door. When someone tells you, I don't have an answer for you right now, you know? Okay, next we have Capricorn. And what you're scared of is any vulnerability whatsoever. Gosh. Us Cap placements. We're like, tell us something we don't know. Jeez. The thing is, Capricorn's control issues come out to play when it comes to vulnerability. Well, I mean, y'all's control issues are out to play at all times, but especially when it comes to vulnerability, like that is your defense mechanism, right? Is your ability to just close yourself off. And I feel like Caps understand that they can control how far or deep this relationship goes if they put a cap, if Cap puts a cap on how vulnerable they're allowing themselves to get, right? Because if you're opening up and they're opening up, okay, like, whoa, we're getting deep, we're becoming connected, and already that's very scary for Capricorn because they don't do that often. And when they do it, they're almost expecting the other person to drop the ball quickly, right? Like they don't believe in people. They can be very pessimistic when it comes to people, when it comes to good things happening, and that has a lot to do with the fact that they're ruled by Saturn, right? The planet of lessons and karma, the father, the mother, you know what I mean? The guardian. So Capricorn can't help but assume that bad things happen when you are vulnerable, you know, again, because of that pessimistic mindset that they can have. And they have an easier time controlling how much they open up, because then they almost are aware of, you know what, if I control how invested I am in this, then I can control how much I will get hurt if this ends. You know, when you fall in love with someone, you know, when you fall in love with someone, control is out of the door. You know what I mean? Like, you are so in it that if you were to, you know, be broken up with, cheated on, or, you know, if anything happens that ends the relationship, you are going to be dealing with some ugly, heavy emotions. Like, that is just a fact. No matter how it ends, if you were in love, you're going to deal with ugly emotions. And that can lead Capricorn to not having the energy to sustain their very organized lifestyle. Capricorn has a lot of responsibility. They, you know, have the burden of, they have the weight of the world on their shoulders. And if you are vulnerable and you become hurt, you know, how productive are you after a breakup? You know what I mean? How productive is anyone after a breakup? Capricorn also understands that. They know that when emotions come into the mix, things can get very, very, very messy. And Capricorn doesn't like messy. Capricorn likes to be in control. And when feelings are involved and when they're vulnerable, other people have the opportunity to take away Capricorn's ability to be responsible and live the life that they, you know, feel confident living. Okay, next we have Aquarius. What you're scared of is being wrong. The God complex definitely comes out to play when it comes to Aquarius. It's so funny because Aquarius takes themselves so seriously when it comes to any topic that they're passionate about. Fixed air, you know, that mental aspect. Like, if you ask an Aquarius what they want to be known for, they want to be known for knowing all the things and of never being wrong. Like, you can genuinely bring Bill Nye himself, you know, in front of Aquarius to prove Aquarius wrong, and they will go nonverbal, you know, before they admit that they're wrong. You could have Bill Nye the Science Guy right there proving them wrong, and Aquarius will be there like, I don't really buy it. All of a sudden, someone that is very much qualified, their argument becomes null and void because an Aquarius is present. And I think it's funny because Aquarius, you know, they take themselves seriously, like I said, when it comes to their knowledge. And being wrong is something that they're very much uncomfortable with. Because they are a fixed air sign, they're very, very stubborn when it comes to any sort of argument, right? Even if the facts are laid out in front of them, Aquarius will find a way to bend it to make themselves feel like, actually, there was a secret option B, which is why I picked secret option B. And maybe if you were more open-minded, you would understand that, you know, no one is really all the way right and no one is really all the way wrong. So if we can just come together and agree that we were both right in different ways, then I can walk away from this conversation feeling like, you know, we're friends again. I genuinely know Aquariuses in real life that will argue with me for hours over a topic. And the thing is, they know what they're doing. They know who they're arguing with, okay? I'm a Scorpio, so when I'm passionate about something, I also don't give up. You know what I mean? And if anything, I get more frustrated when someone doesn't see things my way. It's just how I operate. Like, I want to make sure that everyone understands why I'm passionate about this. And whenever I go toe-to-toe with an Aquarius, it is truly the biggest standoff. Like, a Scorpio and Aquarius going against each other. Like, please, everyone vacate the room, leave the room if an Aquarius and a Scorpio do not agree with each other, because shit's about to get scary. You know, these are two fixed signs that more than anything want to be right. And if they feel like people are not grasping and understanding their side of the argument, they become very, very frustrated and angry. And Aquarius, you know, even though they're an air sign, they very much become stubborn when it comes to their side of the argument. Okay, last but not least, we have Pisces, and what you're scared of is the corporate grind. This one was good. I mean, honestly, it should be reality. But yes, the corporate grind. And this one is really good because the crippling intensity of reality and responsibility is too harsh for Pisces, you know? Pisces understands that in this day and age, we are all deeply disconnected when it comes to our inner knowing. You know, this makes Pisces placements feel very, very uncomfortable because Pisces is the 12th sign. They're also ruled by Neptune. And more than anything, they want to decipher the spiritual lessons of this life. You know, they're very spiritual people. And the corporate grind, everything that the corporate grind stands for, capitalism stands for, having a job stands for, is all about shit that you have to do, right? And Pisces hates the idea of having to do anything because it doesn't feel right, you know? If we all just did things based on what felt right and what we feel aligned with, everyone would be happier, right? Sadly, we live in a world where that is not something that everyone can experience, especially with billionaires running amok everywhere. Everyone is, for the most part, not everyone, not the fucking billionaires, most people are living life doing things that they have to do in order to survive. And that is just something that does not sit right with Pisces energy, because Pisces energy understands that we are actually the happiest when we are making decisions with our hearts, when we are doing things that our subconscious feels comfortable with. And the corporate grind and reality and responsibility just does not align with Pisces energy because they feel like everything is forced. And, you know, Pisces being mutable water, they want to blend and fit into things that feel right. They don't want to force themselves to fit into anything, you know? All right, you guys, that is the end of this episode. I feel like this list was really, really good. Thank you, Sanctuary World. Let me know what you guys think. Did this relate to any aspect of your chart? Let me know if it related to your sun sign, moon sign, Venus sign, rising sign. Let me know down below. I would love to hear it. Okay, I love you guys so, so much. I'm gonna link the socials over here. Give me a follow on any of the platforms if you feel like it. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I will see you on Thursday for the podcast. Bye, y'all.